What is going on, everybody? Welcome to today's video. It's almost deer season. I hope you guys are out there getting ready. We're out here doing a little bit of shooting today. If you notice, I'm wearing the same shirt as in the giveaway video, then you're a student of observation, because I'm out here trying to get a lot done. If you haven't seen the giveaway video, jump over there and check that out to figure out how to win this fall giveaway coming up.
Yeah.
But today I wanted to talk a little bit about sighting in your bow for hunting rather than target shooting. I think there's some people out there that probably do this. I don't have anybody that I shoot with that really sights in their bow this way. I don't target shoot a ton, but even with this same practice, ever since I went to it, I've really increased my efficiency. And even when I did the bow shoot earlier this year, I shot on the second round, which was a 198 out of 20 targets. So that's almost a 10 on every shot, and I've never done that well. And of course, it also applies to when you're hunting. Now the concept is for me, now just a few little presets here. You know, I shoot a rather lighter setup than some people are shooting these days. Shooting about 475 grain arrow with everything included, 100 grain broadhead and things like that. So my bow, I'm 6'5". I have about a 32-inch draw length and shooting about 70 pounds. And my bow is long axle to axle, so I generate a lot of momentum, a lot of power. My bow is pretty fast, so I'm shooting, you know, somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 pretty consistently. And I just really like that setup. It's worked great for me. Not really gonna take the time to test too many heavier setups this year. It's kind of too late. So that is my setup, and I think that's why this process works for me. But I wanted to let you know, and I wanted to just create some thought here, because I think you should always be testing your setup to see what works best for you and my mentality and the way I shoot. So first off is I sight in my bow at 25 yards. I sighted in at 25 yards. I want to be shooting dead eye at 25 yards. And the reason being, I will start there and work back. So I will sight my bow in 25 yards, and I'm out here tuning my arrows because I had a couple of jackups here recently and busted some knocks and things like that. So I'm doing a little knock tune, things like that. 25 yards, get it dead on, and then I can move down to 20, and from there I'm shooting my first pin out to 30 yards. And the reason for that is this is just the way I shoot in my mental state while I'm hunting that I'm working on. But I shoot my first pin out to 30 yards, and maybe we should have started with that, but I sight it in for 25, I get it dead on, and then I move up to 20. And I know what to expect, but I want to take the measurements. When I'm shooting at 20 yards and I'm sighted in for 25, I'm going to hit about 1.5 inches high. I will shoot that, make sure it's consistent, record it, write it down, put it in my phone, then I'll move up to 15 yards. And when I shoot at 15 yards, I'm usually hitting about 2 to 2.5 inches high, which is right where I want to be. And I'll tell you why. Because I don't take the deer jumping the string into a factor until you get out past 25 yards. So when I move in to 20, and I know for a fact that my bow is going to hit a little bit high, it's a much closer shot. I can hold low if I want. Now here's the reason I do it specifically. If I'm aware of that specific difference in that shot, I can hold it just a little lower, and I'm comfortable doing that at 20 yards or 15 yards, holding it about 2.5 inches lower. I'm comfortable doing that at 15 yards because it's such a close shot. I can pick a aim small, miss small spot on that deer and be consistent. And I'm not afraid of that. And if I do forget to do that hold, I'm aiming in the same spot at 25 and 20. That deer's not jumping that string at this speed, and I'm gonna hit him a little high, but I'm still gonna slam it. Same thing at 15 yards. If I'm a little off, and especially if it's a downward angle, and I hit that deer just a touch high of that vital V, I'm still gonna slam it, and I'm gonna recover that deer. Now, on the other end, when you get out to around 30 yards, when I get to 30 yards, I hold in the same spot. Now, I do shoot, and I know that my bow drops 25 to 30 is when it starts to fall off. That arc curve starts to come into play, and the arrow starts to drop off more significantly. So I get about a 2-inch drop to 2.5 from 25 to 30. So the reason I'm aiming in the same spot is because at 30 yards, that is a pretty good poke. I don't care what anybody says. 30 yards, that deer is likely going to move. And I'm okay with accounting for that drop. If my bow is gonna drop 2 inches and that deer is gonna drop 1.5 inches or 2 inches or 3 inches, I'm gonna smoke that thing at 30 yards. And if not, then I'm gonna hit 2 inches low with my vital V, and I'm probably gonna recover that deer. I'm gonna probably hit it right in the heart. And so to me, bow shooting is kind of like golf. It's you gotta be honest about where you are, where you're shooting. And to me, I'm a high-end intermediate. I wouldn't call it advanced unless you want to throw an expert level. Then maybe I'm somewhat on the low advanced side. But it's kind of like a hybrid club. It's about forgiveness. When I shoot that way, it is really about forgiveness in the shot. And the other reason is I don't need to range something that's 20, 25 yards away. But when you get out to 30, you start getting a little nervous. You're going to range something. And when you shoot out to 40, and that's when I go to my second pin. I know my second pin is sighted for 40 on the dot. So I know that's 100%. But if I'm shooting a deer that's 40 yards away, I'm probably going to be able to get away with slipping that rangefinder up. You might not be able to get away with slipping that rangefinder between 15 and 25 yards. It's too late, and if he's there, it's time to shoot. So there's not any picking that rangefinder up around that time. So that's kind of the way I approach my shooting for hunting. And if I was going to target shoot, I would adjust my pins to specifics. And I don't want to be shooting at 25 or 30 and splitting my pins, 25 yards. Oh, I think he's 25, so I split the difference between my second and third pin. No, I want to understand my shot, and I want to know what it's going to do, and I want it to be tight, but I want to give myself a little bit of forgiveness in a certain directions. I don't mind giving that forgiveness on drifting a high shot when I'm shooting close, because that deer's not going to jump. And when it's going far, I give my forgiveness for a drop shot, because likely that deer's going to flinch when you get out that far, and you're just not going to get there in time. But if you account for that, and it's worked great for me. I mean, every deer that I've shot out past 25 and out to 30 yards, they jump. Biggest buck with my bow. This is when I started aiming like this and tuning my bow this way. Biggest buck with my bow out in Coleman County. I shot right over his back at about 30 yards, about 28 yards. And that's when I realized just my mental state and the way I shoot, I kind of had to make some adjustments. So it's really about forgiveness, being efficient, and being honest with your shot, and understanding what your shot is doing from start to finish at each range. And when you do that, you can minimize that movement in the stand, minimize that range, those efforts when you're ranging, and give you the best opportunity that you can. Because when I'm hunting in close quarters in the woods, 25-yard shot is probably about all I'm going to get anyway, unless I go out to Central Texas and I may get a 40-yard shot. I'm probably going to get a chance to range that deer before I shoot. So I'm leaning towards calculating those unexpected circumstances, but I'm trying to fine-tune, prepare for them, to prepare for my own mistakes. Just like that hybrid club, when you're hitting that hybrid 4-iron, it's a little bit less forgiveness. It's not going to be a pinpoint shot. It's not going to be a dead eye 3 feet from the cup, but I'll be on the green, maybe 10 feet, right? Those hybrid clubs, that's what this is for. To me, this is a hybrid shot that's set out for almost any one of my hunting situations. It puts me in the best position to be successful and not have to think too much about what I'm doing. And that's how I approach it. And I would like to hear some feedback from you guys, what you think, and if you guys kind of had that same mindset of you adjust your bow differently when you know you're going to be hunting versus target shooting or things like that. So hope you guys are having an awesome day. Go check out that giveaway so you can get in on that this fall. It's going to be pretty sweet. Don't forget to vote on it, and go get those details in the video. But regardless, thank you guys for joining the video today. It's almost, man, these guys out in Kentucky and South Dakota, they're out here shooting bucks, seeing all these things all over the internet, and that's crap, because I was going to go out of state, but I couldn't make it work this year just due to schedule and things like that. So I'm ready to go hunting, and these guys are killing me. Instagram, Facebook, I'm seeing bucks drop. Anyway, have a great season. We'll see you on the next video.